I'm divorcing my husband because of his farts, and also everyone thinks I'm the honeycomb wife. TLDR, I'm divorcing my husband because of his farts. But for the love, please read the whole thing before you comment. FR. I truly wish this were a joke. Part of this whole situation is on me for not dating him for a long time before we got married, and a big chunk of that dating was spent having completely lost my sense of smell from COVID. That fact alone is absolutely unbelievable, but it's true. Side note, I got my smell back. The other wild part is that when we were dating, he hung over at my place mainly, and I didn't carry a lot of unhealthy snacks for him to snack on at night. This fact is very relevant for the story. Once we got married, things went downhill very quickly. He started inhaling as many snacks and as much dairy as possible at night. Sometimes he would go out and get a deep dish, fried cheese, loaded pizza and devour it at 11 p.m. after eating an entire bag of greasy chips and like 27 pieces of taffy. And a glass of milk. Or 3. At first I thought it was just a bad fart here and there. But as the nights progressed, I realized that the bad farts were becoming a nightly nightmare. I know what normal stinky farts are. Even bad sulfuric farts. But these are not simply either of those. These farts are incompatible with life itself. The first time one really hit me in the face, I projectile vomited. I could taste them. They were almost tangible objects in the air. I'm convinced they are soaked into the carpet and walls. Rotten egg is not even enough to describe what the smell is. It's almost as if something literally died inside of his stomach and was leaking into the air trying to kill anyone that smells it. His farts are not human. They are not silly little rotten egg farts. There is something wrong with him. Truly. These farts are almost alive with a mind of their own, and they are terrifying. If there was a horror movie made about farts, it would be about his. They are unsettling at best. They make your mind feel like something bad happened, perhaps a murder. Your spirit does not feel settled because these are not normal farts in any way at all. These are violently horrifying. It got to the point where I had to stop sleeping in our bedroom the second month of marriage. Not only that, but I had to blast the AC, stuff towels under our door, stuff towels under my daughter's door, turn the fan on in both rooms, and sleep in her room with her. He snuck into her room and farted when I was almost asleep so that I would start dry heaving. I had to start sleeping with the door locked with her. I started routine prescription nausea medicine to keep my food down at night, just in case, because it was becoming kind of health hazard because of how sick it was making me. When I asked him if he thought the amount of food he was inhaling every night was causing his farts, he said yes. I asked if maybe he could slow down or substitute for healthier snacks, such as sea salt popcorn, or a bit lighter and less full of thick cheese snacks, and he said no. His reasoning? He said he likes the way the farts feel exiting his butt as they vibrate his prostate and butthole. Like I'm not even kidding, he freaking said that. I'm so horrified that I even typed that. My life became a living nightmare as I could no longer sleep in my room and also remain alive. My desk was in my room, so I also had to stop working in the daytime from my bedroom. He works from home in the bedroom too. I had to change the entire situation just to cater to the pleasure of his farts. I tried desperately to get him to go to a doctor. I found referrals to gastroenterologists. I bought him probiotics enzymes, milk substitutes. I cooked healthy meals. He would literally tell me he didn't want the healthy meal and drive himself to Taco Bell instead. He refused to go to the doctor. He took the probiotics sometimes but usually just pretended to and slipped them by his nightstand so I wouldn't see that he didn't take them. Knowing I was going to have to remain on prescription nausea meds, possibly for life, just to cohabitate with this man was so mind-blowing. Our budget was going crazy to keep up with the demands of the amount of food needed to keep his farting for pleasure needs met. At one point, he literally inhaled so much food so fast and so non-stop that he gained 12 pounds in 48 hours and he looked at the scale and screamed. I tried to get him into therapy and a psychiatrist, but no. I am a very body-positive person that does not fat shame and genuinely believes that you should eat what makes you feel healthy and good and not worry about hitting some numbers on a scale. The situation, however, feels like a very disastrous issue that is very weird and not very common, something that people probably can't relate to because it's just completely absurd in every way. He said he will always choose that vibrational fart feeling and the fart smell and the grease snacks and the cheese above me. He said that is a hill he is forever willing to die on. Anyway, that is the story of why I am divorcing my husband over farts. On the surface level, I know it sounds like it's just about farts and then I'm just a really shallow wife, but I think it's actually so much deeper. It's just hard to explain how. This is possibly the most insane thing I've read on Reddit this year. I'm going to agree with you, and it's worth mentioning that I read the story about Mom and the broken hands. So this was up against that. Fuck yay, the broken arm story. God damn, that's something I want to forget but can't. Broken arms guy was verified by a psychologist studying incest though. I'd like this person to at least post a GI doctor note. Do you happen to have a link to this story? You will probably need eye bleach after this. https://www.reddit.com/r/yama/s/pv4slvip2r. OMG. It was like a train wreck. I couldn't look away. The comments are definitely interesting. What was that story about? Has he tried pegging? Or a bullet-type butt plug? He could vibrate his prostate, even walk around buzzing. Better than gas chambering you and a small child. Either way, you might want to get an order of protection at the courthouse or police department since his kinks are more important than you and your child. This is no different than poisoning someone daily, but just enough to make them sick. This is violence. What's a honeycomb wife? GIF, Giphy, Joe Goo MFGRWXD6. https://www.reddit.com/r/best_freditoropdates/comments/1dznp82 hike and UTM underscore content equals 1 and UTM underscore medium equals iOS underscore app and UTM underscore name equals iOSCUS and UTM underscore source equals share and UTM underscore term equals 1. This doesn't answer the question. A honeycomb wife is just a wife who eats honeycombs? I think she's saying everyone thinks she's the wife from the honeycomb posts. Sir, may I interest you in a little website called Google? I googled it and can't find anything, so what is it? Scroll up. I don't care that much. Moron, the top search result is this Reddit post LMFAO. Maybe Google it yourself first before you look like an idiot. So, are you so stupid you can only click on the top link? Is that the limit of your capabilities? Are you this useless in your day-to-day life? Wow, you seem like an angry piece of shit that tries to affect some form of internet superiority on Reddit. You sure you wouldn't be more comfortable on X, Twitter? I only responded aggressively after he called me an idiot LMAO. Too much Reddit for today. I had to set my phone down, then to my own horror, I read the rest. I can't believe I read the entire post. Going to bleach my fucking eyes. I have a friend who is lactose intolerant and drank milk. It was awful. One time he was at the gym. He literally cleared out the gym. It was like a fire drill with people standing in the parking lot until the air cleared. After that incident, he finally got the message and adjusted his diet. He hasn't had an issue since then. He clearly has a food addiction, and obviously a compulsion to engorge himself in order to gain pleasure from flatulence, but the problem with a food addiction is this. When you are addicted to hard drugs, and get sober, never in life will you be confronted with a situation where you must again consume one of those drugs to succeed in life. However, if you develop a food addiction that you try to recover from, you still have to eat every goddamn day. I'm an addictions expert, and I fully believe you are trapped in a codependent nightmare with a man who has a severe food addiction that's ritualistic in nature. This was probably prompted by the pandemic and the inner turmoil it caused many people, on top of the isolation, and working from home, which means mostly being sedentary, which throws endorphins out of whack. He's addicted and depressed whether he knows it or not. By the way, great descriptive writing. I almost saw the farts as tangible objects while reading. The farts and the displeasure his pleasure causes to others is definitely a fetish for him. He can't stop because it has become his primary source of dopamine, and the fact that it tortures his new family is reinforcing it for him. He's admitted to loving the feeling and smell of the farts, but he isn't talking about the pleasure it gives him to make them suffer, but he actually went into the room they were using to escape it and farted just to make sure they didn't escape it. I think the feeling of it is less important to him than the sadistic pleasure he is getting from making them endure it. Greater than he said he will always choose that vibrational fart feeling and the fart smell and the grease snacks and the cheese above me. He said that is a hill he is forever willing to die on. https://i.red.it/pay6vlcvl7mcd1.gif. DevRam. I am not a DevRam enthusiast, I am a crusader, a preacher. My mom got put on some medication and her farts went from stinky to lethal. Like they could have used the smell from our bathroom as a deadly weapon. Our dogs would run. She stopped leaving the house for more than a couple hours at a time. She'd come home before she'd use a bathroom at a friend's house. I read Gulp by Mary Roach and she mentioned a pill that makes your farts not stink. DevRam. I bought it IMMEDIA. Telly. My mom could eat nothing but beans, garlic, and onions and then never do anything but fart and you'd never know. I can never say enough good things about it. I don't care if this is fake or a joke or whatever. Everyone should know DevRam exists. The farts aren't why you're divorcing him because he has a weird obsession with them that stems into a weird sexual non-consent thing that is causing problems in your marriage. Right. Sneaking into the room she's in just to torment her? It's not just his gratification. It seems like he enjoys tormenting her. I hope he gets hemorrhoids, SP, from all the violent farting. Tell him to get a vibrating butt plug. The pressure build-up would probably kill him honestly. If he doesn't have his clothes on, it could become a projectile missile. He's an absolute selfish child. I'd divorce him as well. I need to purchase the movie rights to this novella. You think you know someone and they turn out to be a compulsive farter. I had a 10 or 15 year period that produced stadium-clearing farts. I had a roommate punch me in the face for farming in the same room. I wasn't so happy about it. I did psyllium husk for a couple years, turned 50, got a colonoscopy, and I think that stuff you drink the night before changed my metabolism. I'm normal now. Maybe sneak 1 gallon of that stuff down his throat? What a glorious read late at night before bed. Truly a work of art. A work of art even. GIF, Giphy, VCKSYOJOCJRPN95. He's putting your entire family in distress and killing himself with food to vibrate his own asshole with his farts? You're not overreacting. That's one of the most repulsive things I've heard in a while. He's disgusting. You're not divorcing him because he farts. It's because he's a pervert who is subjecting everyone to his ass vibrating fetish and killing himself in the process. This man is a fecal terrorist. Still, one question that Google can't answer: what the fuck is a honeycomb wife, please? There is literally a Stephen King story where this monster jumps from host human to host human, and one of the signs the host human is about to expel the monster are horrible mind-bending farts. This post reminds me of that. Anyways, never mind the farts. With that diet, you should be sure to take out a life insurance policy on him because he isn't long for this world. Ah, Dreamcatcher. Yek. That man is so many kinds of unwell fucking run. The fact that he went into the kids' room just to fart and make you sick would have been the end of it for me. That's a psychopath. I don't know how old you all are, but at a certain age his farts will turn to sharts, if they haven't already. Sharts happen, don't get me wrong, but it sounds like this dude will be cool with them. Get out now. Ever since I read that bit about his vibrating farts, I've been giving my husband side-eye when he fart to see if he smiles. I hate that I'm thinking about this now. It's not just that though, she said that when she escaped to her daughter's room to get away, he went in and farted in there too. He's following her, so she has to suffer the farts and the kid too. That's going too far. I was in a band with a guy with a terrible diet and he farted once during a car ride and I experienced the WTF-ness you described. It wasn't just horrible, it was shocking and upsetting. And that was just once. I feel your pain, sister. Man. I was in a band with a dude that was allergic to eggs, but he would still eat them from time to time. He would let loose some of the most heinous smelling farts whenever he ate eggs. We had to forbid him from eating eggs on tour. I worked with a guy that had a similar internal malfunction. It became well known pretty quickly. He, myself, and a couple of coworkers were standing just outside the office one day and he farted. Naturally, we all backed way up in hopes it would dissipate. Just as soon as we backed up, a new guy walked out saying something to someone and it looked like he walked into a sliding glass door. He started sputtering and blinking and couldn't finish his sentence, thought he was going to hit the ground. Poor guy got some in his mouth. There is no fucking way this is real. He will always choose vibrational farts over the wishes of his wife. Wow. That was a great read. Very funny. You should most definitely leave him to eat himself to death in a cloud of farts. He does not deserve love or sex. He said he likes the way the farts feel exiting his butt as they vibrate his prostate and butthole. Like I'm not even kidding, he freaking said that. Dead. I was laughing so hard reading that. The next thought that crossed my mind was, maybe he can eat healthier and if he truly wants something to vibrate his prostate and butthole, then he should start researching sex toys that are designed for that type of stimulation. Tears of joy. Mao, this can't be real, but if it is, offer to get him an anal vibe so he can enjoy the prostate stimulation without gassing you out. LMAO. Sounds like your husband would enjoy being pegged. This would allow y'all both to live life less dangerous. Him enjoying that prostate vibe and you not nearly dying from asphyxiation on a nightly basis. That man is not getting pegged until he stops eating the food making him fart. Could you imagine what would happen as soon as it entered him? He lets one rip, she smells it and then immediately vomits on him. That is so far from sexy that they might not ever be the same again. WTF. Are you married to Peter Griffin? He should consider the cancer he will get being lactose intolerant and ignoring it. Gluten intolerant, ignore it, cancer, gouty arthritis, ignore it, cancer. It all turns into cancer if you ignore. Tell him that. WTF is a honeycomb wife? I'm sorry, this is one of the best I've ever read. It's both comical, because descriptions are so perfect that I could almost taste them. Also very serious. You should slip him a couple of pills to combat how vile they are. Clearly he has an intolerance to dairy. Very easy to do. While his rather bland and odor-free farts are troubling his nighttime routine, you could easily compete for vile air with some green leafy, crunchy veggies just before bed. Did you read the post? He doesn't want to help solve this problem. This shit can't be fucking real. LMAO. It's not real. Op is trolling and karma farming. What's a honeycomb wife? No, seriously? Not sure if I need to get myself one or not. Do I lick honey off her comb? Or do I crawl in the honeycomb and die? I am confused. A much happier marriage with fart stories on Reddit. Highly recommend. https://www.reddit.com/r/best-of-reddit-updates/comments/1dznp82/my_husband_is_a human_gas_human_gas. Descriptive TLDR. Husband eats all the fartiest foods and they give him all the fartiest farts. This includes a fuckton of whole honeycomb. Wife is constantly barraged by rancid gas in their home, to the point of gagging. Husband seems to lack any impulse control and continues to eat farty foods, eventually culminating in him shitting on their floors. Lots of description of how her 40-year-old husband is basically a toddler. But she finds it all very funny and endearing, plus it turns out he has untreated IBS. True TLDR, they're both very dumb and he's pretty gross, but they love each other and that's nice. Similar to a Fruity Pebbles husband. Finally, a real answer. I don't care if this is potentially fake. This is a hilarious read and gave me a solid laugh that I so much needed. But if it is real, I'm sorry. We on Stories subreddit where everything fake internet all fake too, just enjoy the fun. Remember, all fake. Regards, Monkey. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r stories if you have any questions or concerns. This shit was beautifully written, had my dying the entire time. What's a honeycomb wife? There's another similar post about a guy left alone for the weekend who ate like 15 pounds of lentils and ate honeycomb. He had horrific gastric distress. She got him to go to the doctor, he's got IBS. Stops eating like a 14-year-old. Eats a bunch of cheese. Has gastric distress. Wife looks at doctor notes. Hubs is also lactose intolerant. These farts are incompatible with life itself. Ha 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 ha. Honeycomb wife? Oh, are you in for a treat? Here you go. https://www.reddit.com/r/best-of-reddit-updates/comments/1dznp82/my_husband_is_a human_gas_chamber/closing parenthesis. This can't be real, LMAO. GIF, Giphy, BBI3JY2 Bub3X2. What's a honeycomb wife? I read all that and I only came here hoping to learn about the honeycomb wife term. All I learned was this dude eats like a stoned teenager and likes the way his farts vibrate his prostate. There's another popular story in another sub that is similar to this one, with a wife in distress and annoyance. BC, her husband ate 14 pounds of lentils and Taco Bell and a shitload of honeycomb and his farts are understandably horrendous. I can't hunt for the link right now, but it was on our Best of Redditor updates. Leave that dirty ass man. I'm so glad you're divorcing him. Growing heart, I will celebrate your freedom of smell with you. He sounds vile. I'll take things that didn't happen for $500, Alex. If this isn't fake, someone needs to get checked for cancer. Reddit has become so much more popular lately since the introduction of AI storytelling. He has a fetish of some sort and mental problems. Leave him. Annul the marriage if you can. Anal the marriage. What's a honeycomb wife? Also, buy him a vibrating butt plug and get him onto a FODMAP diet so he can figure out what's causing his IBS. Let me find that for you, one sec. Here, https://www.reddit.com/r/best-of-reddit-updates/s/pdrw3fmgpa closing parenthesis. He is lactose intolerant and that causes the vile smell. Any dairy will cause that. This is Reddit, so I logged in prepared for top-tier unseriousness. I was not prepared for any of this. I call bullshit. I googled before asking. No answer. What's a honeycomb wife? I think it was another Reddit post where the husband had 6 whole honeycombs, a large pot of red lentils and something else I don't remember, while the wife was on a trip. She returned to her husband farting up to a whole storm. The difference is they didn't get divorced, yet. I would like to know as well. The first thing that popped up for me was this thread. Lol. You're lucky he never gave you a Dutch oven. He is selfish. It's not about farts. It's about a selfish human who prefers farts over a spouse. This is the funniest fucking thing I've read in a while. How many times am I gonna see this stupidity? I know this is fake, but this line made me die laughing. He gained 12 pounds in 48 hours and he looked at the scale and screamed. Whoa! I was about to say that your husband is living a double life with me. His farts not only make me vomit, I'm serious here, I'm not joking, but at night while I'm sound asleep he lets it rip loudly that it startles me. My body literally jumps. He laughs and tells me that I need to learn to live with BC. He calls it a disability. He just let a few rip right now as I'm typing. If you ask me, this is abuse. Woman shrugging light skin tone. Fake repost from a week ago. Low effort. Would be funny if you didn't go into so much detail. It sounds like one of those fetish posts. This is so fucking fake. This both sad and funny, no mean intent. But as I read this, you have to see the humor in farts lol. I mean, the real reason is because he doesn't respect you or your daughter. His farting is just a byproduct of that. I have not heard of the expression honeycomb wife. Heading over to Google, surprisingly, you are already indexed as the top result. Urban Dictionary search comes up empty. It's referring to a post a few weeks ago. The wife went on vacation and left her husband alone for like a week. Man ate solely honeycombs for days and turned himself into a human fart pit. ETA, here's the story. https://www.reddit.com/r/bestofredditorupdates/s/axovcf3 offer closing parenthesis. He said he will always choose that vibrational fart feeling and the fart smell and the grease snacks and the cheese above me. What the hell is a honeycomb wife? A lady with a similar story. Her husband ate Taco Bell, lentils, and honeycomb, which causes gas. Lady would have rather been cheated on. How many times has this been posted? Melania, is that you? I laughed so hard my dog got mad at me. Thank you. Tears of joy, you're welcome. Rolling on the floor laughing. Tears of joy partying face. Gold. Surely fits the narrative tears of joy. There's no way this isn't some kind of made-up fetish story. I think he is lactose intolerant. What is a honeycomb wife? I second this. A story about a woman who went on vacation to Korea and her husband ate a large amount of honeycomb and lentils and Taco Bell and had epically bad gas. Ended up getting diagnosed with IBS. https://www.reddit.com/r/bestofredditorupdates/s/wcq0 feetspew. There was a story on here, I am pretty sure I read it on r, Best of Redditor Updates, where a lady went on vacation and her husband ate an odd mixture of foods, including honeycombs. It left him with incredibly terrible farts that she described hilariously. Edit. Found it. https://www.reddit.com/r/bestofredditorupdates/s/widibmiuk3. It might refer to Proverbs chapter 16 verse 24. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. Maybe they found a way to call her a trad wife in a way they think she doesn't get? I'm sorry, but that man a demon. A fart demon at that. Hell nah. He is a walking biohazard. Farts get me mad AF. It's mad disrespectful. No one wants to inhale your shit particles cause you think it's funny. Sure, everyone probably lets one slip every now and again. No big deal, we can laugh about it, but if you intend to make your farts a weapon of mass destruction for shits and giggles and you're fortifying and buffing the farts to make them stronger, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. I'm out or one of us is gonna die. Ain't no way. Holy shit. Pun intended. This guy has IBS and he still eats like trash. He has to have IBS. IBS farts are not of this world. They are the devil's farts. GIF, Giphy, Avenue 23 MNY 9H0mm 7R28 JW. That's enough Reddit for today. Looks like you married a pig, not human. He said he likes the way the farts feel exiting his butt as they vibrate his prostate and butthole. Skull and crossbones, skull rolling on the floor laughing, I am fucking dead, and I'm never gonna fart the same again. Thank you Oop, you've changed the fart game for me, forever. OMG, I needed this post today, been a rough week and it's only Tuesday. I am a 59-year woman, yet I still laugh at fart jokes like a 12-year-old. I used to have a boyfriend purposely fart on me, even after I said please stop. It's about respect, so I don't think you're overreacting. After seeing your TikTok, I was like, first of all, you are too gorgeous for him. Second of all, I can tell what you are saying it's true by the way he dresses and act. He is not in high school anymore to do street PID things like that. He clearly doesn't respect you or your daughter. Not even your family. I don't think you are in the wrong for divorcing him. We all like to get a fart out here and there, but when it's on purpose like he does, that's like a degrading kink or something. Plus, farts are literally poop particles in the air that we inhale from that. That's gross enough. This post right here wins freaking Reddit. In perpetuity. OMG, I can't stop laughing. I want to meet Op and we become best friends. I need Op to narrate every minute of everything I look at and just use this amazing art of explanation to feed my soul. You're not divorcing him because of his farts entirely. You're divorcing him because he's refusing to make being together possible. He's chosen the foods that make the farts happen over you. He's chosen life with those foods instead of a life with you. And ultimately you'd end up taking care of him like a nurse when he gets really sick because of it all. You're choosing the right answer here. GTFO while you can. And WTF is a honeycomb wife? You know what? I believe you. I dated a man with the same problem. And he refused to be polite or try to remedy the situation. He was pre-diabetic with not the healthiest food addictions. Nevertheless, he was so fantastic in other ways, I tried to overlook it, until I too, dry heaved and vomited. I couldn't handle it. And I seriously thought he was sick with something. A few years later, he died of leukemia. I often wonder if it wasn't related. Anyways, I totally understand. Red heart, nauseated face. Can verify this. My husband is in kidney failure from years of diabetes, and his farts are indescribable. I've woken up from a dead sleep gagging because the smell was so thick in the room. And it doesn't just ease away. It's brutal. It fills the room and just sits there. I know my husband can't help how bad it smells, but he can help letting them rip in the same room as me. I've told him to at least let me know so I have the choice to exit before it hits me. We put a fan in the window blowing oot and open another one to give an exhaust fan effect. My husband is sick so often, I can't hold it against him. He goes through so much each week between throwing up, high blood pressure, chills, horrible stomach pains, headaches. But yeah, diabetes messes with everything. I hear you. Until a person experiences this, it seems unbelievable. My heart goes out to you. Thank you. I feel guilty talking about it because he can't help it. He genuinely tries to take care of himself, but diabetes is genetic in his family, and he was diagnosed pretty young. I've gotten really upset before over waking up to that smell, then I feel awful because he's laying on the floor sick as crap, hardly able to move, and telling me he's sorry because he was trying to hold it in. Knowing what he goes through makes me more compassionate and forgiving. But I definitely take steps to try not to have to breathe that thickness in. Like Op said, it's almost like there's pieces in the air that you can taste. It truly is indescribable. I believe a lot of people who have worked in nursing homes understand because older folks tend to have some of the same issues. It's real, though. It is so real. WTF is a honeycomb wife. I think that's the real reason we're here. I read too much chart to not learn this lingo. Ditto. I do not understand it all. Me neither. I googled it and found nothing. I guess it means you're able to compartmentalize the bad things. Came here to ask this as well. There was another post where a woman left her husband alone for a few weeks and he ate a bunch of honeycomb, lentils, and Taco Bell, and had basically become a human fart machine by the time she came home. I don't have a link, but it's fairly recent from this last week or so. https://www.reddit.com/r/best_of-reddit-updates/comments/1dz_np82/my_share_content=1 and UTM_medium=app and UTM_name=iuscus and UTM_source=share and UTM_term=1. I swear people on Reddit just make up terms and acronyms as they go. Girl, I feel you. Same. My ex used to fart silently, but they were toxic and they'd slap you in the face, hit you in the gut. He would deny he'd farted, but it was like, WTF dude, I'm choking to death on someone's ass smog, but it ain't mine? It was obviously him. The denying it made it even weirder and grosser. Often the first time I knew he'd farted was because I'd hear him sniffing deeply. Then the smell would hit. It was vile. It communicated something was very wrong with him inside. And he'd den Wyatt while sniffing deeply. Once he silently filled the bed with hot toxic gas and then immediately tried to initiate sex. It was honestly like he had a fetish. The weirdest thing of all was that one day he told me he was avoiding takeout because he had to go on a plane with his friends the next day and didn't want to be antisocial. Then spent all evening guffing in front of me and my friends and denying it. So he knew full well what he was doing was socially unacceptable but forces it on men around him. Always women, never men. That's why I suspect it's a fetish and he got some kind of kick out of it. I will be laughing for days. You are a helluva writer. The op seems to post this every few days in a diff sub. I was going to say, I've read this before. What an attempt at a troll post. He is blowing up your dreams of a happy marriage. I literally died laughing reading this, but in all seriousness, your husband is not only repulsive, but absolutely delusional. I understand that people have things that pleasure them, but to say that the pleasure you get from farts has more priority than your wife is absolutely horrible. Does he feel this way about your daughter too? Had me until here. These farts are incompatible with life itself. Started out hilarious, ended sad. Dude is selfish and doesn't want to take care of himself for his weird fart fetish. I'd leave him too. Homer, I don't think a healthy man can smell like that. I didn't read all of that, but I saw the part about the farts. I divorced a man with ungodly farts. First I moved bedrooms, then I divorced him. Best decision ever. I love how this post is categorized as venting. Yeah. Her husband venting from his ass, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. He purposefully came into you and your daughter's room to fart. I would divorce him too. That's crazy and so vindictive, OMG. Good on you. Google failed me. What's a honeycomb wife? Divorce him, he can die on his hill in his own damn home. Deleted. Somewhere there is a chick who is super into this. If not real, great creative writing. If real, run. It's a power trip. What is a honeycomb wife? There's no way the man gained 12 pounds in 2 days, that's absurd. Which makes me not believe the whole post because once I see the lie it's hard to believe the rest of it. Totally possible with bloating and water weight if you're already a larger person. Add constipation. Humans can hold up to 5 pounds in their intestines at any one time. Tell him to buy a hush if he wants to vibrate his prostate. This is just revolting. This can't be real, right? LMAO. That's disgusting, and it should make for a quick divorce, hopefully. I don't know if this is a true post, but my ex-fiancé also had the most horrific, stinking, revolting farts. However, they were completely silent. He was on a campaign to get me to throw him out, long story, but his whole life consists of being a victim, and this started about 2 years into our 3-year relationship. I have never smelled anything like it, before or since. Sue. He has a kink that he's subjecting you to. He's literally getting off on this and on the fact it grosses you out. He is genuinely getting pleasure not only out of the sensation and the smell but also from making you sick. Get out, now. That's fantastic. Now I need someone to tell me what a honeycomb wife is. Some other couple recently on Reddit had a wife that went on a business trip and her husband decided to live off a 10-pound pot of lentils and a whole stack of boxes of fresh honeycomb, wax and all, while she was gone. She returned home to a husband who had epic, home-destroying farts, and then he lost control of his bowels in their living room, or something similar. She had to leave the house for a day while he continued to crap himself and use a carpet cleaner. I probably got some details wrong, but I've been trying hard to forget the whole thing. Why did I read this? And I hope this isn't one of those life imitates art situations. I'm not real smart, but this smells like AI. Yeah, this seems like a 14-year-old using ChatGPT. I just came here to find out what honeycomb wife means. There was a post on Best of Reddit Updates or maybe AIDA recently where a lady went on a trip with friends for like 3 weeks and came back to her husband blasting weapons-grade farts nonstop and also destroyed the kitchen. Apparently he'd eaten nothing but honeycombs and lentils the whole time she was gone and it wrecked his guts. What does it mean? https://www.reddit.com/r/best-of-predator-updates/comments/1dznp82/my_gas_chamber/. Agreed. What the is a honeycomb wife? And do Google honeycomb up in the Urban Dictionary. Holly Cupcakes made a post a few weeks ago in our stories titled, "My husband is a human gas chamber." I don't know how to grab the link, but there are 3 related stories and Holly is an excellent writer. If you thought this was funny, don't have beverages or anything near you when you read those. Me too, and after reading some comments I still don't know. https://www.reddit.com/r/best-of-predator-updates/comments/1dznp82/my_gas_chamber/. Seriously. And we still don't know. https://www.reddit.com/r/best-of-predator-updates/comments/1dznp82/my_husband_is_a_human_gas_chamber/. Removed.